welcome to Monday evening. Busy day with the work. We started slightly higher than that, about 1,000 parts higher than that, and a fair few lots higher than that as well, actually. So 6:30 and whatnot. We started at that early this morning when I actually did the figures and everything. I've done the store tracker as well for the week, but we'll come to that in the store report. All of that, we'll go through that. Brickwomble featuring in it, so I need to go and check out their postage and whatnot. It's been a busy old time. We are sitting at, I've already picked 5, so there's another 6 to go. So that was 11 in total, and in a few hours time, about 4 hours time, Insider days will begin. So these are the 5 that I've picked. Stormtrooper torso, a singular part which is going international. No, it's not going international, but it's going packet parcel. One part going parcel. Part is about 23 cents. The parcel is about $11. Few parts there, and a chopper, a Fennec Shand, a Boba Fett, and a Bo-Katan. Is that Bo-Katan helmet? Yeah. And then this one is kind of a bit of a mixture of new and used. Yellow, dark blue grey, blue, black, light blue grey, all chucked in there. The place is an absolute bomb site. It's actually making me a bit twitchy. I really don't like it when there's crap everywhere. So that needs to get sorted. But this evening is Noah and Harrison's last night here in WA before they head back to Melbourne and the Rickshed. So we're catching up for dinner in about 20 minutes. So I need to get a bit of a move on. So there will be no time for tidying up today. That will be a tomorrow night job, which having just said, I don't work on Tuesdays, I'm going to break that rule straight away. And that's the way it goes. One order has come in from, where's that from? I think that's from Blacktown Bricks. And there's some stuff that needs to be put away, and some stuff there that needs to be put away. And there's some overflow stuff over here. Yeah, and there's stuff to be chucked out, and we can't find the 3L bars. There's a lot going on, which all needs to get back under control at the beginning of the week. Small space, as it gets a little bit kind of messy and disorganized, like those things need sorted out, those cups need moving. You just, me personally anyway, I don't know about anybody else, you kind of get to a point where it affects your workflow because there's just stuff everywhere. I need to get a bin bag, I need to take the recycling out as always. There's just things that need to be done in terms of housekeeping, so you feel like you're being efficient and productive with your time and movement and whatnot. Some of the things that Noah was kind of commenting on in terms of how I do it, obviously this kind of mixed parts in a thing is a complete no-no in his mind. Different locations for everything. He's running Brickers, so he can have an unconsolidated system anyway, so he may have drawers with different parts in it, but big tubs like this would be a no-no. And I run my numbering, let's do it from this side. Numbering, as you well know, goes 191 all the way down vertically along the drawers. Now in Noah's store it runs horizontally, so it would go 191, 192, 193, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that, which allows you to move that cabinet completely. If you want to reorganize now, there's no intent of reorganizing for a significant amount of time here, simply because we've got an awful lot of room and capacity to grow. You know, the 1,000,000 parts, which is the target for July, and we're on track for very comfortably at the moment. Doesn't really mean that we're going to have to move things around from here. We could add things, but we wouldn't really need to move things around. And similarly, I run those big drawers vertically like that, which love it or hate it, it's how I kind of set it up. And yeah, so there was things like that. There was things like using barcodes, because the Brickshed uses barcodes, and things that kind of I don't really see the massive time benefit in spending a lot of time adding barcodes when I like the order of my yellow stickers and my handwriting, which is, it's just personal preference. But part of the podcast that we recorded at the weekend was kind of talking about that kind of part-time, full-time, and how everyone really, and I said it a lot of times to be fair, how everybody has their own systems and their own ways of doing things, and it's about kind of learning from other people and adapting what kind of works for you into it. And I'm not saying that kind of going horizontally isn't a really good idea, and maybe it would have been a better idea, but kind of I found when I was trying to find a part, I think because I always set them up going down the way from the beginning, that it made sense for them to keep going down the way. Anyone get a vertigo? Down the way rather than horizontally. But we are where we are, and I don't fancy changing over 1,570 drawers, because that would be a bit of an epic. Although I would really like to find 584 black 3L bars. I'm not quite sure what 500 of them look like. That would probably help me locate them. I have to figure out how many this is, and then I'll know whether or not they're in a small drawer or a big drawer, but equally they could be in these drawers. One of the things that I found having someone in the store when you're used to working on your own was that it kind of disrupted your own workflow and your own mental flow of stuff. With two things getting done at once, you kind of had to kind of keep on top of things. You kind of, that's a double, isn't it? But whilst it's brilliant and it was super useful having someone kind of putting parts away as you were picking parts, brilliant for kind of building inventory and stuff like that, it did mean that jobs like this didn't get done as I was going along as they would normally. And yes, that would take twice as much time, but the orderly part of my brain would have it all sorted now. Moaning like a so-and-so, aren't I? Not meant to be. It's just observations from it. It was very useful, very good fun. Loved that. Loved kind of having a bit of fellow Bricklink time, and just chatting the chat about operations, expenditures and all of that. But equally, it does kind of show you where you can and can't improve. And I'll probably talk a bit more about this during the week after I've had a bit of time to digest it. And speaking of digesting, dinner time. So I'm going to go and catch up with Noah and Harrison, and I will be back here tomorrow catching up on orders, and we'll see where we can get with the rest of the week. There are parts arriving through the week, as they already have. So one I want to try and pick tomorrow night so that Wednesday can be putting parts into the store. And I'll probably film putting parts into the store as opposed to picking this week for something a little bit different. Tuesday afternoon, been a full-on morning of picking. Some of these you did see yesterday, 5 of them, but there are 12 more that have been picked since then, and an awful lot of stuff arrived, and I'll come back to all of that after I've got rid of all of this. So clearing me out of those on the used front, whole bundle of odds and sods there. A little bit of I think there's a skeleton in that one, so that's good. Oh, the ones with the cards you saw yesterday, so that's good. More very 501st looking parts, perhaps with that new battle pack that's become a bit of a thing. I did see M&R Productions doing a comparison of the previous 501st Walker with this new battle pack Walker, and it being a lot smaller. This one is cool and interesting. Lots of Technic pins and very interesting parts. Not sure what that is. Whilst this one is very bright light orange again, so that has proved very popular of late. Another kind of all sorts thing going on in there. Not sure what that one is. This one has got Commander Cody, Sabine, Trooper and Kermit randomly. That one getting a tile. All dark blue grey in that one, load of dark blue grey in that one, and some odds and sods, and more dark blue grey in that one, and clearing me out pretty much of bright green in that one, some dark grey plates in that one, and finally yet another Republic gunship. All the parts in there that you'd recognise. It's the dark red yellow pins, the spot of lime, those gun turrets, and these domes that give it away. I did have a sort of a tidy up before I got stuck into picking. That all needs sorting out as well. But with parts to put away, there's stuff to do, and that's probably going to be the priority between now and tomorrow, along with sorting out the recycling. It is recycling night, so these ones are from Ali's Bricks and Bits. I'll probably reuse those boxes because they were pristine. They were just kind of in a bag, but other ones kind of a lot of tape and stuff like that. There's another order under there, there's more back there, so there's a lot of stuff to go into the store once I've sorted out the postage and got that away to create some space. Given that it's Tuesday in the store during the day, I'm not going to be working Tuesday night as planned, but obviously Wednesday gives us another opportunity to get stuff away. Packaging restock has arrived as well, as has another order from a large store overseas that I purchased bunches from, but as you can see, we have got quite depleted on the packaging front, so it's good that that's arrived. We can get that restocked probably tomorrow as well. I'm starting to put a lot of things in tomorrow, aren't I? And I do need to try and find these 3L bars, which they're here somewhere, just gotta find them. Doing my head in. There was a couple of drawers in the wrong space as well, which kind of threw me off guard, but they're here somewhere. 548 of them, so that's a fair few to fill up a drawer. I've got to figure out how many are in these ones so that I can find out. Thought they might be in a similar area, but no. Oh. Anyway, that is a job to do. Sometimes it's just kind of having to be methodical. Welcome to Wednesday morning. Didn't get as much done as I wanted to do yesterday. As you can see, this is all of the parts that were in all of the various things, full length of the bench, so I can't actually do any picking until I do this. There are 3 or 4 orders in. 2 of them pickups, one of them was a shipping quote, so they were kind of all hanging around, so not too bad. There's also all of this, which is all packaging, which needs to get put away as well, so I can create some room. The BSX file is done for all of this. It's about 10,000 parts. There's still those that need done, but other than that, we are kind of just squeeze past all these boxes so I don't knock anything off. Go on a diet, get through there. Yeah, so there's all of this that needs to be shifted, which is pretty cool. Some interesting bits, some things that are probably going to give me some reallocation I still haven't done. That little quadrant of reallocation at the back there, so that needs to get done as well. But otherwise, there's just kind of a restock of general parts here that have come from maybe 6 different stores. And yeah, I mean, for those of you who don't know, that's kind of what I do, kind of look for items that are priced below my figures that I want to make a profit on, and then I'll buy them if there's volume. And there are some stores that might find that a little bit distasteful, buy in from another store to sell again, and you know, so there are some stores that don't want resellers buying from them, and that's completely their choice. You either are in the camp where a sale is a sale, or you're in the camp where you don't want someone to profit off you having something cheaper than they'd sell it for, which personally I don't understand the logic of that. Surely the market decides what the price is, and you know, if you're the only person selling an item and someone buys it from you and marks it up to sell them, to sell it on, that surely is the whole dynamic of commerciality, and that's what you're in it for if you're running a store full time. So, but people like Bricks Warehouse have banned me from buying from their store to prevent me from buying from them, and I'm sure they won't be the only store that bans me, and that is their choice. I don't have a problem with it at all. I'd rather they were upfront and said, we just don't want to sell to resellers, and don't take the sale. But I don't really care where I'm selling to. You know, if someone, you know, some of those orders last week where there were a couple of thousand parts, yes, someone could be buying a mock, building a mock, but equally they could just be stocking the store with stuff they know they'll be able to charge more for, and that is fair game to them as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, the market will decide what the market is worth, won't it, ultimately, and everything else is business, so suck it up. Anyway, we are moving on to getting all of this put away. I do want to talk about, hang on, I'm going to go around here so I don't have to squeeze past boxes once again. I did want to talk about one of the stores that sent a message on the inside of the box. So this is Brick by Brick, which is a bloody good name, isn't it? You should name a podcast after that. Oh, we did. Anyway, he says he's a bit of a fan. Anyway, that's lovely. Oh, you know, flattering, but you know, it is a bit ranty and it is a bit pointed at times. But he included a little gift and thanking me for taking the time on the how-to videos that I have made kind of throughout. Pretty much because when I started, there wasn't anything out there that kind of showed you how to do stuff, which was really kind of him. So thank you very much, Steve. I really appreciate that. And he sent me one of those clone training things from that gift with purchase, which is super cool. So that is going over here. Now, I don't think anyone's really seen in here before, but this is my stash of minifigures. So this is where the ones I'm keeping come to live, and he's going in there along with some other rarities and things like that. So thanks again, Steve, and if you are looking for a store to buy something from, why not check out Brick by Brick AU and see what they have in stock, because clearly a very, very kind gentleman. So thanks again, Steve. And this is it then, right? I need to start putting this away. I'm going to actually do it as a time lapse, which might be a little bit weird going backwards and forwards to the BSX file, but it makes a change from just watching me pick orders, doesn't it? Put orders away will be a little bit different. So, but before I do that, I need to put the packaging away, so that is first off the rank. Welcome to the regular chit chat slot then. Not a lot has really happened this week in the great wide world. I don't know if anyone caught the British Formula One presentation, where the trophies were made of Lego, which was amazing to see. Really fun idea, given how much money they've invested into kind of the F1 series and stuff like that. But if you are a fan of detailed mocks, it's definitely something to check out, and I imagine we'll be seeing a fair bit of that turning up at brick festivals and things like that over the coming while. People kind of recreating those trophies amongst F1 kind of scenes. I think I was complaining last week, as I do, about the pick a brick menu on the wall, not on the wall, on the website. That seems to have switched back to its old self, which is interesting that they've done that so rapidly, but it's better for me, I tell you. And amidst Prime deals and Lego Insider deals, I didn't really check out the deals all that much, kind of stuck to part buying and where that was applicable, getting gifts with purchases. So other than that, not a great deal happened in the world. A busy week, but not for news, it would seem. So let's dive into kind of comments and questions that stood out from last week. And as ever, if you have a topic or a question that you'd like me to cover in this slot next week, leave a comment or a topic or a question down below, and I'll pick it up from there and waffle on for a bit. I'm going to start with Alvin Palmerquist 2838, who asked the question about what sort of part out value and return on investment are you looking for in a set. Now, anyone that has jumped on and checked out Brickmetrics, BL Metrics, I should say, will know that there's kind of quite a straightforward way to look at that. And what you'll quickly realise is the sets that have got a fantastic part out value are not ever the sets that deliver a good return on investment. But if you kind of, get away from this mythical 3 times part out value, which, you will have heard me say many times, does not exist, and start thinking about it at another level, you will see from BL Metrics that kind of part out values in the range of 1.6 to 1.9, so let's say a 2 times part out value, are the ones that deliver the better return on investment. And even then, you are looking at kind of the mid 40s or high 40 to kind of like 0.91 is the highest, I believe, in the return on investment multiplier. So and by return on investment, for those of you that don't understand how that kind of data set works, it's really the percentage of the set that you are going to sell within the first 6 months. So let's take Jabba's sail barge, for instance. It has a part out multiplier of 1.62. So whatever you buy, if you bought it at retail, you'd be getting 1.62 value, which in this world where people go on about 3 times, some people wouldn't look at. But in terms of its return on investment, you are going to sell 0.91% of that potentially in the first 6 months, giving you a substantial return quickly on the set investment, as opposed to something like the Creator transparent magical box thing, which has got like a 5 point something part out value, but its return on investment is really, really low. If I know you can't see, but I can click on the screen as I'm doing this. So the magic transparent box has got a part out value of 3.61, which is pretty decent, but its return on investment is only $9.56. So you're only making 0.32% of that back. So really, I've kind of approached part outs as, are they going to add something new to the store, or are they going to add things to the store which I know sell well? And that return on investment kind of data is quite important to that, but equally looking at the set. And BL Metrics allows you to do that within each set. You can go in, look at the inventory. It gives you an idea of what's in your inventory, what isn't in your inventory, and the quantities of what is in your inventory. So certainly something I'm using at the moment, and finding that it's informing different decisions than perhaps your gut would tell you. Grimsy42, following on from that, really said that he'd also noticed that this 3 times part out value is getting quite, in capitals, hard to find. He pretty much goes for a 2 to 2.5 part out, and on a Star Wars set, figures selling so well kind of is a different thing. And he does, like me, kind of tries to buy things like that when there's gift with purchases and things like that, because it ultimately brings down the price. You know, if you spent what was the Jane Austen threshold, was that 260, but that set is going for $65 to $70, so you're getting $260 worth of parts for $200 if you're kind of flipping that set on. It's a good way to do it, and if you haven't done that, you know, you really should kind of target the times when there are good deals and they stack it with VIP points, because that gives you the opportunity to bring cash off your orders as well. Blanco Bricks, thanks for answering the question. I have another, and many more down out. Go for it. I'm here. How often do you do a mass update to keep all of your prices up to date? Thanks, Dave. How often? I think I've only actually done it like once or twice. And really what spurred me on to do it was sales were dropping away kind of mid to mid-end of last year. I think I did a massive update and reset of prices, simply because things weren't moving and I needed things to be a little bit more fast moving. And who knows, that's probably going to be the model that I use, you know, as if we get to a number of orders per day that is looking like it's not very profitable, then that's the time to go in and look at your pricing. And I have done it sporadically where I've gone through kind of modified bricks or plates and things like that, just kind of done categories at a time rather than doing a whole inventory mass update. Obviously the bigger your store, the harder that is to achieve, but breaking it down by category and things like that is a decent way. I think I've done that on minifigures a couple of times. Generally kind of gone through everything that wasn't Star Wars and just gone to inventory average or 6 months average, just to give you a chance to pick up those sales and then go from there. But yeah, I haven't done it regularly. I have done it when it's felt like it's been needed, but when I did do it, I did it in sections rather than all inventory. And finally, Grumpy Old Bricks, who's a regular, he wants to see a whole video of me ranting about political stuff while stood on a ladder. I think that's called a soapbox, but I'm happy to have more rants, like, you know, not just about Aramax or packaging that makes me look like a drug dealer, but yeah, there's plenty of things that do get on my goat, but maybe not too many political ones, because who knows? I could have been walking into a trap at Aramax, and who knows what else could happen. So I'm not giving up the rants. Don't worry. I'm probably just going to not call people warmongering genocide makers and things like that in the future. Oh, I know I've done it. Anyway, and that's it for this week. If you do have comments, topics, questions, all of the above and anything else, comment down below and I'll pick it up next week, and let's get back to the vlog. All put away. So just a few things to kind of label up that there's gaps. 131 can go back. I realised that I had missed out an order that had come in, so at the end of that kind of parting out, I realised it was another 4,000 parts that needed to be put away. These all need sorting, so that is a job. Shortly, restock of packaging, all done, looking good. Oh, yeah, fully stocked. That should see us through for a fair while, which is good. And what has it done to the numbers? It's quite something. So we are sitting at 643,115. That lot count is getting harder and harder to push out without used. That is the reality of the struggle. But in terms of target, obviously 634 was the end of August target, so we are so far ahead of that. We're now heading into September's. We're only what, 12,000 off September's upload target, which would put us a good 2 months ahead of the road to 1 million, which is fantastic. So what's that? We've done like 15,200 and something that has gone up. No, 15,002 or something like that, isn't it? What's that? 5, 5, 6, you can do the maths. A little bit of tidying up to be done. Still got to do those two whatchamacallits, pad wall things, and obviously tidy up all this stuff. These are all dividers out of the Kmart drawers, which I do keep separate because they're slightly wider than the Spotlight ones. They live in here, which is handy, so I always know when to get them. They're in the last drawer, so once we get to this point we're in serious trouble. There we go. Okay, so on to picking orders. So as we head into the afternoon, we've got 3 orders, 65 lots, 100, can't get my numbers right today, can I? 1,416 items. Shouldn't take too long, you would think, but there is another order floating around out there, but it's going well, so let's crack into these. Orders picked, all 4, 2 for pickup, 2 in the post. Big one here for Ben, regular buyer, picking up a couple of the Beastmaster wolves, a couple of shields, a big stack of reddish brown, clearing me out of a fair few things, smattering of black, including these things, and in bright green those, a little bit of light blue grey, dark blue grey, smattering of dark brown, and a whole bunch of dark green. Lovely. This one, light blue grey predominantly, slopes and inverted slopes, and a couple of black bricks and 1 used thing. 200 of those, almost cleared me out. 100 of those and 100 of those in that one. Maybe a restock, who knows? Nice. Hope it is, prove my point. And This one's Damien's, kind of very Speed Champions-y kind of feeling again. He's often kind of building Speed Champions types things. This also came in this month's, is it this month's? I never know. Issue 128. Anyway, decent content. It's got a little bit about the new Star Wars stuff in it, which is nice. It's got a few interesting bits, a bit about that castle, the usual roundup of interesting things. But, you know, more importantly, it's a nice advert, isn't it? That's actually changing from the next issue to be a generic QR code, which will take people to the links part of the website. So that will be good. Still got to do this. That is the next job to be done. Either that or these. So in here we have one-handed. This is not easy. A whole load of those. There is something underneath. Bricks. There are these underneath. Those things. And then the other one is a bit of a mix-up as well. It's got a whole load of orange cones in it, some wagon wheels. Oh, jeez. And underneath is a whole load of light blue grey, those things. So that all needs breaking up, counting, putting into the store, which will be a good little whack. But I might do this stuff first, just so there's a little bit of tidiness. These random parts kicking about are things that Noah found in the wrong places as he was picking the last weekend. Last weekend now, yeah. So those need to go back to their rightful place. But other than that, 2 things to go to the post office. Beautiful day outside, so chance for a bit of a walk. Okay, parts sorted. All 2,645 of them, which is quite impressive for 2 boxes. Total value coming out at 189. So what is it? 32.99 for a box, is it, or is it more than that? Can't quite remember. Lots that weren't in the store are those bricks and those tiles, having been cleared out of all of my trans clear stuff. But there is a lot of orders coming in to replenish all of that, of which 4 have appeared whilst we have been counting. And got some new stamps. I've not seen those ones before. 30-cent stamps and some other ones with some food on it, which looks quite tasty, doesn't it? I think there might be crocodiles. Nobody needs that, do they? Saltwater crocodiles. Perfect. One of the many things that could kill you in this country. Anyway, Benjamin's picked up his order. Damien is yet to pick up his. These 2 orders that have been waited to be picked up, they're still waiting to be picked up. Not a problem, but anyway, each to their own. Right, I'm going to get these put away, and then I'm going to do the store report, and then I'm going to have a look and see what's in there.
Store report.
Okay, this week's store report. Disclaimer time. Just in case anyone is thinking that I'm misrepresenting how much business people are doing. Don't want to get anyone upset. Don't want people feeling like they're being misrepresented or anything like that. But this is just Bricklink sales from the week. It's not a perfect week. It's from the Monday that I did it to the Monday I did it again. So it's not a perfect week. It's just the week that I have the time in which to do it. If you don't like it, do your own. What else to say? Some people will be selling on Brick Owl as well, and that could be accounted for 25% or more of sales on top of this. Some people will be selling on eBay, and that could be even more on top of this. Some people, like Bricks Warehouse, as you'll have seen last week, have their own terminals and their own shop front, and we'll be doing absolutely shed loads of sales out of those things. So this is literally just a snapshot of Bricklink business. Okay, everybody step away from the cliff and calm the chuff down. So the crosses and ticks down the side are those stores that have and have not yet adopted the new under 250 grams weight parcel rate thing from Australia Post, which started on the 1st, and I haven't updated any other prices. So they may have changed upwards, given that most postage went upwards, but not everyone has adjusted their post yet. Minimum orders and fees haven't really changed, although there has been some simplification here and there. So anyway, top, as again, is the top 4 is almost exactly the same, I think. Brick Warehouse at 135, Brick Shed at 67, Fantechnic at 48, and Ashburton at 40. Last week's was the year-to-date average. I've gone with the last 3 months average. It's simply easier for me to run the formula in the spreadsheet. But that actually means that Noah is outperforming his last 3 months as opposed to kind of on a par with his year-to-date, which is good. Sydney Brick Emporium up on their last 3 months, but this, if there's a store that's kind of like within a tolerance of 5, I would say that's pretty typical. Things go up and down pretty much that much week on week, so there's no great shakes there, you know. And I guess with scale like Bricks Warehouse, that variation probably gets increased, but somehow, by the miracle of communication perhaps, Sydney Brick Emporium have actually simplified their postage instructions, so they detail out the sendle options now as opposed to sending you off to a postcode tracker. So they pretty much start at about $7.05 under 250 kilograms, grams on sendle, and they kind of go up in the same way as Australia Post do from there. And it is $4.25 for under 125 grams domestic untracked, which is pretty on a par, I guess, with what's out there. And they have adopted the parcel rate, so the cheapest parcel rate is $9.70. But please do bear in mind that packaging will be taken into consideration. Goldie Bricks sitting at 30 from 37, so that's probably on the boundaries of the tolerances, I would say. Brick Womble wasn't in the chart last week. Little pop up there into number 7, decent. 29, their 6 months, their 3 months, sorry, is 32. Their postage is $3.50 under 100 grams, and their entry level parcel rate is $10.99. They have a minimum order of 50 cents and an average lot minimum value of 50 cents as well, if you are planning on purchasing there. If you're going to, make sure you buy lots of different lots to make it difficult for them to keep topping the shop, so Noah can get back to number 1. Maybe, just a suggestion. I'm at number 8, which I can't remember. Was I 7 last week, 8 this week, or was it 9 up to 8? Don't know. Bang on. The weekly sales average 24. I think my total for the week was 32. I only sell on Bricklink and Brick Owl, so there you go. You get an idea of that. I have introduced the new parcel rate, which isn't showing there, but it should be. I need to update that. Queensland Bricks, which is the second biggest store in the country, if you consider they are about half the size of Bricks Warehouse. 23 is their 3-month average, and 20 was last week, so well within tolerance. And down the bottom there, I don't know whether they did or didn't introduce the parcel rate, so possibly not. And at number 10 is Shannon. 20 is his 3 months average, 17 was his last week's average, which is all kind of within the tolerances. Now, let's have a little look at BL metrics. Now, I kind of talked about this week, last week. Let me just increase the size of that so you can all see. And I'll stretch it out so you're not having to look at my messy desktop. Here we are. So this is BL Metrics Store Analytics. The daily orders is the average over the last 28 days, sorry, based on available data. So as you can see, that's 20 on Bricks Warehouse over the last month, which is even less than their last 3 months, which was sitting at 150. Oh, that's 155 in a week, so 20 a day times 7, 140. So it's about right, isn't it? Queensland Bricks, their amazing Brick Bazaar, are up there because of their scale, but they don't feature in the top 10 of sales because, as you can see, they only kind of do one the average one a day in the last wee while, as have Bricks to the World. Brick for me at 3, South Aussie, Bricks Labourer at 2. I'm sitting at 4, which is pretty good. Goldie Bricks, Gold Coast Papa Bricks, sitting at 5, although they weren't in this week's chart, but were in last. 7, there's Shannon, Schmidt Kovac, Sydney Brick Emporium, blah blah blah. This is everything you can see. There's Noah at 9, and I can pretty much stack these in any configuration that I want to go with. Daily orders, that's what it gives you. I'm sitting at number 15 on the daily orders. Total items, this is from yesterday, I think. I'm sitting at number 8, which ain't too bad, is it? Total lots, I won't be anywhere near the top of this because it's just taking a beating. Brick Womble, Pretty Bricks, which I believe is in Tasmania, chatting to Noah, and Noah's there, and I'll be way down somewhere, might not even be on this first page. Oh, there I am, 27th, ain't too bad. Anyway, what have we got? Unique lots, that'll be an interesting one. I've never really looked at that one. Bricks Warehouse, Brick Womble, Brick Shed, Brick Womble, Bricks Warehouse, Sydney Brick Emporium. God knows where I'm going to be here. Way down. 29th. Not too bad. And there you go. Interestingly, what you can then do is drill into an actual store, and it will give you all sorts of analytics of all of the store. Kind of gives you this view of the timeline over the last 3 months. I can do it over the last month as well, which kind of gives you this total orders. And you can see even here, peaks and troughs. Daily orders up and down. They had a good week that day, didn't they? 43. Wowzers. Down the right here, we can see where most of their orders go. That's pretty standard. Although I've never said anything to Switzerland, but there you go. That's how that is. And further down, it tells you all sorts of things about their inventory condition. So 99.9% new. Parts accounts for 99.8%. 3,414 minifigures. They are at 0.1%. And compared to the 6 months average price of the same currency for parts and minifigures, they are over 107%. This is not fresh analytics, so I can do that and get that back. For those of you that are kind of interested in the bigger US stores, here you go, Brick in a Bucket. They're doing 16 daily orders off of 1.8 million parts, 30,000, nearly 31,000 lots. In the last month, they've looked like that. Total items took a pounding and then up and down, which is pretty interesting. Pretty solid. What days are that? A Monday and a Saturday. Are they Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturday? No rhyme or reason to that, is there? Anyway, inventory condition used 97.5, 2.5% is new. They have minifigures, 379 of them. Not an awful lot, is it? But 100% parts by that, and their price difference is 2% above the current inventory average, or is it the 6 months average? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, as you can see, lots of useful stuff going out of this kind of BL metrics. And as I said earlier in the vlog, if you are interested in checking this out in a little bit more detail, head over to the website, and when membership goes along, I will have a discount code, so stay tuned for that. We'll be back next week with more store report. Okay, those 3-4 packages opened, and it is kind of a replenishment of a lot of the trans clear stuff that went out of the store last week, was it? With those orders, it's the start of that anyway. Several orders kind of coming in here and there, amongst some other parts that were just needed to be replenished or could be picked up at the same time as I was picking up a bit of quantity here and there. Ironically, a whole nother batch of those which we didn't need, along with a whole nother batch of those which I'd picked up at the pick-a-brick wall, and had I remembered that, I could have avoided buying them. Anyway, another 6,500 parts, so we shall get these into the store, and then we'll be heading towards the end of the day, I think. It's been a good one. Wednesday evening, another 5 orders, which is fantastic. Weird and Wonderful in that one, domestic letter for that one. Another Republic gunship for sure in this one. Nice little selection of various circle plates in every colour imaginable. Maybe a colour chart, who knows, but I don't know, it kind of made me think of that Easter egg within the Venator, where they had the dots representing people. Don't know, but a lot of sand blue and light blue grey. Colourful little assortment here, bit of bright pink, green, yellow, and the other usual colours, and regular buyer Belinda going, I think Harry Potter, but all of the tan, including a couple of printed tiles and a hedgewig, a bit of white, and a bit of other stuff as well. So, job done. Another 5, keeping us on track for a good week, which is good. Get these sorted out for the post, and then that's me. Welcome to Friday. I always say welcome to, don't I? Yeah. Anyway, what have we got? I did some picking last night, and then I did a little bit of picking this morning as well. It is, time is it? It is 20 to 10 on Friday. Last night I picked half of these, and then I picked the other half this morning. A 32 by 32 dark blue base plate and some other small parts in there. A solo dark grey plate in there. A little bit of dark tan, dark blue grey, and some other bits in that one. I'm not sure where that headpiece comes from. It's either Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, isn't it? I don't know, can't remember. And a whole lot of other kind of windowy type things, which is pretty cool. This one, a whole lot of light blue, dark blue grey, heaps of red, a little bit of orange and some other things, and a whole lot of white. Interesting, lots of small parts in that one. Quite a lot of Technic bricks in here, along with some other yellowy bits. Blacktron, maybe? Don't know. Could be anything, I guess. And then this one's kind of a right old mixture of, again, quite a lot of small parts and things like that, which is all very lovely. One more order's just flashed up on my screen as I'm recording, and all of this arrived. So their gifts with purchase, they could be the snails, I'm not sure, and the rest of it is actually parts. And I do have Aramax parcels to collect, but not from the dodgy post office. This time I've got to go all the way out to the airport to Aramax headquarters, so maybe they've heard me bad mouthing them on vlogs and they've laid a trap, and I'll go there and I'll never be seen again. You never know, do you? These things could happen. But other than that, that's where we're at first thing in the morning. We've had a good run of getting parts in the store this week and last week, and we're down a little bit already. Like, we're down to 650 because of orders coming in, which is, you know, exactly why we're here. But it's good. It's rolling along. Kind of feel like a little bit of momentum. I've been given the 2L versus 5L situation a bit of consideration, and trying to think where I can move things out to, and the answer to that really lies in here. So whilst there's some sets and instructions up in this shelf, there are the Bad Batch figures that need to be rebuilt. There is a Star Wars diorama back there, and there's a whole load of I think it's 1x14 plates behind that kind of stuff, tan and dark blue grey, that could be rehoused in OF22, which is there without problem, which would free up this room, this space should I say, for, I don't know, kind of maybe 4 of the 5L containers, which would mean I could decant some of these, well, not some of these ones because they're where they are, but I was thinking more around this side of the room, if you like. So given that we've got kind of down the bottom here, turn off that, down here, what have we got? 119, 112, 120, sorry, get your grip together. Maybe the first 4 here could be moved out, and we could get 8 on the end there to separate up some of the things that are becoming more single source locations, such as those 1x2s, the black and the dark blue grey have been split up already, such as maybe those plates. I'm not sure about that because we're not really ploughing through them, but things like the 1x3 bricks, they could also be split up, or the 2x3 bricks, they could be split up as well, although don't go in there too often. What I'm trying to do is kind of balance this, maybe the 1x4 plates, because there's a fair few in there and that gets a bit of a rummage, and really that's my criteria for trying to decide what to do here, is those ones that are taking a bit of a rummage to pick, and then breaking them out so that they're not quite so slow in picking. When you're picking big bricks like that, it's pretty straightforward because you can see them. It gets a bit more complicated in kind of those ones perhaps, and things like that. So yeah, don't know, could be a little bit of an experiment. There's only light blue, grey and white in there, so that's 2 taken out of that. And if I did that one, that's another 2 taken out of there, so that's 4, which is all I'd get on the end here. Well, no, I need 8, don't I? Yeah, so I don't know, it feels like quite a complicated equation right now. I don't know, maybe because it's the end of the week. Yeah, we'll see how we go, hopefully I'm going to be okay for the rest of the weekend. Guy I was working with yesterday has come down with COVID, so hoping that that's not going to spread through our house as well, because we can do without it, to be honest. But we shall see. Anyway, one order has come in. It won't be up yet because it takes a little while for it to kind of transfer over to Brick Freedom for some reason, like 10-15 minutes. But once I've had a look at that, I'll get that picked, and then I'm going to use one of the gift with purchase boxes that I kept back from before for that 32x32, because they are an awkward size. It's a bit of overkill given that there's only some tiny parts and stuff, but it's the way it has to be in terms of packaging, unless I can kind of chop up some of the big boxes, which I have done in the past, but it's a bit of a faff. So I'm going to go with that. I do need to look into a packaging solution that is 32x32 plates or bigger. Just have a little handful, maybe just 10 or 20 on standby should I need them when you're selling kind of big base plates, because it's one of those ones that every time it comes up I go, I should have done something about that, but I hadn't. So that's where we're at. Friday underway. Okay, and the order that came in whilst I was chatting last time, that's this one, 1600 parts, predominantly dark blue grey, a little bit of bright green, dark blue green, a bit of yellow, some white, some black, and a little bit of light blue grey. No idea what that one is, no idea. The other 2 that came in whilst I was picking that, more usual kind of colours, clearing me out of the 2x4 dark tans, a little bit of yellow and light blue grey, black and dark blue grey. A lot of 4x4 black tiles in that one, and this one definitely has kind of a Star Warsy feel of some sort. Those flat silver antennae are often the giveaway. Dark blue grey, black, light blue grey in there. So decent to add to that little pile that's ready to go. Going to get these packed up and then off to the post office and to collect parcels and that kind of caper. So let's crack on with that. Oh yeah, here we are. Aramax, everyone's favourite. Will the customer service in person be anywhere near as crap as it is everywhere else? Let's go and find out. There you go. Bit of randomness. Pick up. Can I change that? No. There we go. That is a joke. All this way and 10 minutes. 10 minutes for 2 small parcels. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. They are utterly crap. Literally, like, there's a waiting room and an office 20 yards away. Comes out, writes down the numbers manually on a piece of paper, takes it back to the computer, keys it in, comes back to ask for ID, goes away, comes back and forth, 10 minutes. I've managed to pick up 4 business cards for Aramax people, right? Regional manager, franchise manager, general manager, 2 of them. 2 general managers couldn't manage the way out of a paper bag. I'm going to be getting in touch with them because this is just madness, right? 2 small parcels. Get a grip. Okay, back from the Aramax adventure, let's call it that, and now breathing once again. Unpacked orders and the 2 packages I collected, so a whole lot of plant stuff and transparent stuff in there. Stuff, more transparent, whole box of bits in there that are pretty decent. Some gift for purchases, so I've got a few of those, and then some parts, just replacement restock parts, which is good. Again, these seem to be getting quicker, given that they're coming all the way from Holland. They seem to be coming quicker than they ever used to, which is very impressive. So I'm going to get a BSX file together of all the Bricklink orders. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Bricklink orders, and then I'll do the BSX file of these 2 packages and put them together. But as you can see, it was kind of odds and sods: briefcases, hair pieces, some slopes, top hats, motorbike helmets, things like that. So all good stuff. Right, let's get it packed away. I also I know it sometimes does it and it's not quite accurate, but Brick Freedom's picker had me down as having none of those, so I'm just about to check whether or not there were none in BD, what is it, BD 150. So let's go and have a little check of that. Just point you that way while I get to the right screen. If you've never used this inventory screen, it is very good for finding things. And usually what I do is either go through the part number or through the keyword. So BD 150, and it'll come up whether or not anything's in that drawer, and nothing is in that drawer. So that is stock that's there but not showing in the store. And indeed, those 2, those 3, and that 1 were all things that should have been out of stock as I was picking. So yeah, again, more evidence of needing to audit, really, isn't it? But yeah, let's get stuck into getting this BSX file pulled together, and then we'll see how we're shaping up in total. Should be quite a lot because there's a lot of small parts in here, so it's probably going to be a fair few part count. Not particularly that many lot count, but we'll see how we go. This is where we got to last night. I forgot to actually circle back and show you after everything had been uploaded to 652,935, which puts us about 11,000 up on the start of the week. So far, 31,794 parts uploaded. Not too bad at all. I was midway picking, kind of, when I called it a day yesterday, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think another order's just come in, which I think it's a 1 piece. So I think it's another one of those Jane Austen gifts with purchases going out the door, which is good stuff. So let's have a little look what we've got. These 6x6 dark blue-grey tiles, pretty popular. A whole load of plates, some used wheels of different sizes, and some odds and sods in that one. Domestic letter, bit of an old school yellow used pulley, and some wedge plates. Interesting one, kind of feels quite modularly or kind of foresty, don't know, could be anything. Very Technic heavy one there. And the one that I was working away on, which was 2,000 odd parts, was this one. Predominantly light blue grey, as you can see. It's like 200 and some, 300 lots or something. Quite a lot. Bag of dark blue, a little bag of black, and some odds and sods, and obviously getting the tile. There's a few things that I need to sort out as I've been kind of going along. They were just getting a bit out of hand, so these ones all need breaking down, splitting up, as does 2L15 plates need tidying. I've just been putting them in the bags, and the net result is they don't fit anymore. Another inventory discrepancy, that's it, isn't it? With these left side reddish brown wedges, are they wedges? Not sure. Anyway, they were a fair bit, and I've got about 7 of them there that weren't in the inventory, and a whole load of new stuff added to the wants list from this beast of an order, kind of either running things down or running them out. And that'll be us. I'll have a look at this other order, but I'm not going to come back and record that, so it's quite a long vlog this week, I think. Seem to have been a lot of parts going in, a lot of parts going out. Big orders like that really do make the week, as they did last week. I didn't have any help from Noah this week to pick it, so it's kind of Saturday afternoon now, and kind of getting to the end of what I'm going to do other than this kind of minor sorting out stuff, and a bit of a tidy up for the week ahead, which obviously starts tomorrow, but between you and me, looking forward to kind of chilling out for the weekend, maybe watch the Lions, see what's happening. But yeah, there we go. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you have got comments or topics or anything like that for the chit chat section, comments down below. If there's things that you particularly want me to look at through the store report as well, again, just drop a comment down below or message me on Bricklink or Instagram or places like that. I do check them here and there, or you can jump on the Discord and you can just message in there as well. Plenty of ways. Anyway, that's it. Another week done. Thanks very much. Well, heading into week 28, I think, next week. This one's been a bloody decent one, so happy with the progress we're making.
Store report.